You wake up tired. Not because you worked too hard, but because you've been on pause for too long. You scroll through other people's lives, laugh at things you don't even find funny, and smile just enough to get through the day. But deep down, you feel it, don't you? That quiet voice. Is this it? Here's the part nobody talks about. Most people who say they're depressed aren't broken. They're just exhausted from living a life that doesn't light them up, waking up to alarms they didn't set, answering to bosses they don't respect, pretending everything's fine when it's not even interesting. You laugh at your coworkers' small talk. You nod in meetings while silently checking the clock. You open social media and feel nothing. But you scroll anyway. And here's the twist. The worst part isn't the pain. It's the numbness. You're not crying in a corner. You're scrolling. You're laughing at memes. You're surviving. But you're not living. You keep saying, "I'm just tired." But it's a soul tired, a kind of tired no nap fixes. And you know it. Because deep down, you can feel the version of you that used to care, just sitting in the back of your mind, watching it all fade. You did everything right. You got the job, paid the bills. You even bought that overpriced lavender candle to romanticize your life. But let me ask you this. Why does it all feel like a loop you can't escape? Because comfort is the quietest trap ever built. It doesn't scream, it doesn't hurt. It just numbs you enough that you forget what fire feels like. Comfort whispers, "This is good enough. Don't mess it up." So you stay. In the job, in the situationship, in the endless scroll. You're not stuck in hell. You're stuck in fine. And fine is where dreams go to starve. Because when everything's okay, you stop fighting for great. You stop asking for more. You stop believing there could even be more. You trade spark for stability, and then wonder why you feel empty. Here's the truth. Comfort doesn't keep you safe. It keeps you small. It's a velvet prison, and the longer you stay in it, the more it starts to feel like home. That emptiness you feel? That weird, quiet ache when everything's fine but nothing feels right? That's not failure. That's your alarm clock. Your soul's version of wake up. But instead of ringing loud, it hums. You feel it during the pause before a meeting, right after the 5th scroll of TikTok. When Netflix asks, "Are you still watching?" and you click yes, even though you're not. Boredom isn't a flaw, it's a flare. It's your brain begging you for something real. Not just content, not just stimulation, but movement, impact, aliveness. You weren't built for passive consumption. You were built to build, to solve, to shape, to struggle. That's where meaning comes from, not from comfort, but from contact. When you're too safe, too quiet, too routine, your brain starts wondering, is this all there is? And if you keep ignoring that voice, that's when it fades. Not because the problem's gone, but because you've accepted the cage. Boredom is the canary in the coal mine. Ignore it long enough, and you forget you were even supposed to fly. Let's kill a myth right now. The cure for boredom isn't fun. Because fun is fast food. A quick bite of dopamine. A scroll, a snack, a weekend trip you forget by Monday. And when the fun fades, you're still stuck with the same ache in your chest. That's because what you're craving isn't escape, it's ownership. You want to wake up and feel like something depends on you. Like your actions move the needle, even if just a little. You don't need more fun. You need more "this is mine." That playlist you made just for you, ownership. That sketch no one's seen but made you feel alive for an hour, ownership. That goal you wrote down on a napkin and secretly started working toward, yeah, that too. Because the second you decide, this thing matters because I said so, you're no longer a passenger, you're a builder. And guess what? Builders don't get bored. They get tired, they get frustrated, but they don't drift. They're too locked in, too lit up. Not by applause, but by the quiet, powerful feeling of "this is mine." You think playing it safe protects you, but here's the trap. Every time you avoid discomfort, you also avoid progress. You don't get stronger by avoiding the weight. You don't get clarity by dodging hard decisions. You don't get a life you love by living on autopilot. What you get is stagnation. That's the quiet ache in your chest when someone asks, "What are you working on?" And you have nothing to say. It's the guilt when you watch someone else build what you said you wanted. It's the shame of being the smartest person in the room, but never doing anything with it. You tell yourself, "I'm just tired. I'll try next week." But deep down, you know that's fear talking. Fear of failing. Fear of starting. Fear that if you actually try, you'll have no excuse left. But here's the truth. Trying and failing will hurt. But it'll never hurt as much as wondering what you could have been if you had just taken the shot. There's a cost to playing small, and you're already paying it. Every boring day, every wasted hour, every moment you feel like a shadow in your own life. That's the price. And the meter's still running. Let's pause the noise for a second. Forget your job title. Forget what your parents think. Forget the algorithm. What do you want to build? Something you've been quietly dreaming about for years. Something that scares you a little, but pulls you in anyway. Something that feels like it would finally make the silence worth it. That's not a fantasy. That's a blueprint. Because once you start building, your life stops feeling like background noise. You stop measuring time by weekends. You stop drifting. You start moving. You wake up not with answers, but with something to reach for. And it doesn't have to be big. Write a newsletter for 5 people, make music no one's heard yet, sketch that clothing line, launch that faceless channel. Build the thing that's been living rent-free in your head for years. Not for views, not for applause, for proof that you can choose something and finish it. That you can give your soul a home, that you can matter to yourself again. Because no one's coming to build it for you. Not your boss, not your friends, not some better time in the future. This is it. Your hands, your idea, your turn. So here's the blueprint. No fluff, no vision board, just movement. Step 1, write one sentence. I want to build X because Y. Not for your resume, not for your parents, just for you. I want to build a YouTube channel about mental health because I know how it feels to feel invisible. I want to build a small clothing line because I've always had something to say, and I want people to wear it. This is you, owning it out loud. Step 2, pick a 7-day target. Forget dreams, pick a task. Make it small enough to finish, but real enough to scare you, just a little. Post one video. Send one uncomfortable email. Sketch one design. Write 500 words. Launch the first product, even if it's cringe. You're not trying to win. You're proving that you're not asleep. Step 3. Block 30 minutes a day. Same time, every day, no distractions. No phone, no background noise, just you and the thing. At 8:30 p.m., you sit down with your laptop, phone in the other room, timer on, and you work. Not because you have to, but because that 30 minutes is yours. The world doesn't get it. The algorithm doesn't need to see it. But you do. This is how it starts. You don't wake up with a passion. You build one, brick by brick, until it pulls you forward. You are not broken. You're just bored of living a life that was handed to you. So stop trying to escape it. Redesign it. Pick one thing that's yours, and go all in, even if it doesn't make sense to anyone but you. Because the second you start choosing discomfort over autopilot, that's the second you start waking up. This isn't a pep talk. This is your starting point. Let's get to work.